So I don't know if I can say on your podcast. I'm sorry if I can't.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry,
You're good.
Carter.
Yeah, we say sorry, Carter. So John's son, Carter, listens, and so whenever we cuss, we say sorry, Carter. We just apologize to
I'm
his son.
sorry, Carter. It's only because I'm acting in a skit. I don't talk like that normal.
Welcome to My God Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I are joined by content creator Josh Mancuso. We get Josh's thoughts on the Dawgs, and we hear his story of how his content took off during the 2022 college football season. As always, remember to check out store.mygodapodcast.com to see our latest merch. You can follow us on social media at My God Podcast. Finally, we'd love for you to check out our presenting sponsor, Oxia Time, at oxiatime.com. That's AXIATIME.com. Now, let's join the conversation in progress.
All right, so we've got a guest with us today. So John, you kind of teased this recently that we had some fun off-season content ideas. And so this is the first of hopefully many, but we've got a great one today. So welcoming in Josh Mancuso. I know we definitely mentioned Josh in our national championship review episode, talking about his TCU and versus like Georgia fan video that came out before the game. So Josh, thanks so much for coming on My God Podcast. It's great to have you.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here with you guys. It's been a good year for the Dawgs, so look forward to chatting about that. I'm sure you're looking forward to chatting about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say, I mean, I think for us, like, we're actually more excited to hear about you and your story because I feel like, and maybe you can correct us if maybe give a little background on like who you are. Because for those that don't know you, they probably know your face since this is an audio medium. They probably know your face from videos. But just curious, like it just feels like that you came out of nowhere. Like you kind of exploded this year, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. I appreciate you using the word explode to explain my career. That's the kind of word I like to hear. Yeah, it just kind of come out of nowhere. I'm an actor and a filmmaker, and I started doing videos around sports just in 2022. I kind of started. Well, I'll back up. I guess about 2 years ago, I did my first real video, comedy video like that, where Tennessee fired their head coach, Jeremy Pruitt. And that day, which was a good decision, that day I released a video announcing the new head coach at the University of Tennessee. And it was a fake character I'd come up with named Coach Lance Decker. Just the most random thing. I wrote the skit in one day and just like videoed it and put it out. And it went pretty big and people loved it and it was funny. So that was kind of my entry into doing like sports comedy. But other than that, I've been doing video production for a long time. I've made videos for clients and done lots of just kind of like normal video work. But I love making my own content and being on. I guess I've been on this path to kind of being an actor, and so I've been acting for 3 or 4 or 5 years maybe. And finally starting to take off a little bit. But yeah, the explosion happened really in 2022 when football season started, and I started doing like mascot videos. I started doing like fan versus fan videos for the different games, and it just kind of happened. I love sports, and sports is kind of part of my comedy, but it's kind of become my whole comedy here recently. And I guess it's just kind of, you just go with what's working, right? People like it, so we'll just keep doing it, man.
Yeah. Was the Auburn one the first like mascot video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, because I'd done some other videos about just other topics, just like kind of general life comedy stuff. And then I'd always thought about mascots and then them not making sense with their names. And Auburn was the first one that came to mind. And my father-in-law is an Auburn graduate, so I always give him a hard time. I'm like, you got this tiger, you got this eagle, and you got like all these different things. And so I thought I'd just make a video about it. And I did not think it would go as big as it did. I didn't think it was as funny as I think other people thought it was. I guess you're your own critic, but yeah, that was the first one, man. And then from there, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to keep doing these.
Yeah, for sure. So like full disclosure, that's a common topic on this podcast. Every year we play them. That's definitely one of the jokes we pull out is or like they can't decide what your mascot is, because they've got at least 3. You've got the tiger, the war eagle, and then the plainsman.
I forgot about the plainsman for my video. People were like, "You forgot the plainsman." I'm like, "Dang!" They got 3. That's so stupid. The War Eagle thing. I'm like, why don't you say go Tigers? And they're like, War Eagle. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Dude,
Nice.
your mascot videos are so great. I mean, you're so full disclosure, you're a Tennessee fan, right?
I am a Tennessee fan. Yes.
Okay.
It's been hard to be a Tennessee fan in the past. This year is pretty good to be a Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The one to your credit, the video that you did with the Tennessee Vols, the volunteer one, that I feel like that was fair. fair play to you.
It was, yeah. That was that's one of my most watched videos, I think. That's one of my favorites. And it was easy to write because I'm a Tennessee fan. Like I already knew, a lot of the history and the jokes. And it's like, we got volunteers. Like, what is that, first of all? And we got this dog. And we got a guy dressed up like Davy Crockett. Where'd he come from? And like we say Vols, not just it's absurd. So, but it's fun. It's fun creating this fake meeting where people are coming together. Like, let's come up with a nickname and mascot, and it's it makes me want to. I feel like I could do that for every school in America, probably.
Yeah, seriously.
You've got the Navy too, the Vol Navy.
The Vol Navy. Like, there's we got boats. Where? Yeah, and it we got the Tennessee River right there, but it's like there's so many different things coming in there. Alabama though, golly, what are they doing? This the Crimson Tide, and then they got an elephant. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Roll Tide.
In my extensive podcast preparation, I actually watched that one this morning. I think I had seen it before, but so watching that one, I'll say that was where I confirmed, like, I'm pretty sure Josh is a Tennessee fan. Like, I knew you lived in Tennessee, and I was like, but the Alabama digs were so spot on. That was an indicator for me. Yeah.
Everybody loves to make fun of Alabama.
Yes.
And so that was an easy one to write as well. That one's done pretty well. I think even Alabama fans watched it and they're like, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. But so you have not done a Georgia mascot to date, right?
I have not.
Okay.
And, I think it's because like the mascot makes sense. You're the Georgia Bulldogs and your mascot's a bulldog.
Right.
And, I can make fun of the name Uga, which I've done in the past, but at least it makes sense as being UGA. So, I'm sure I'll get there at some point because I think it's worth doing. But I felt the same way about the Florida Gators. People are like, do a Florida one. I'm like, well, they're the Gators. Like, it makes sense. Gotcha. But I ended up doing one. It was kind of a stretch, but I did it just to see if I could do it. Right. It's like, can we make this ridiculous? I'm sure I could do it with Georgia. So if you guys have ideas, send them on over.
Well, I will say that, the Bulldog was not the original mascot. So I don't know, maybe you could have like the evolution or something. So it was a goat at one point, actually.
It was a goat.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some content there. Yeah,
there's some stuff you could do with that. I'm sure.
The wheels are spinning, man. The Georgia goats. Wow.
And we're not even talking about Stetson Bennett either. We're talking about like an actual goat.
An actual goat. Yeah, right now you got a lot of goats on there. You got Kirby Smart and I mean, yeah, you guys are. It's tough. It's been tough watching Georgia rise to the top like they have. But as a Tennessee fan, I'm like, better you guys than Alabama.
Right.
Better you guys than Florida.
Right, for sure.
That's one of the things that we've talked about a lot, actually, too, is like for John and I, like for our era, I guess. So we were at Georgia like late 90s, early 2000s. So when Tennessee was like at the height, my freshman year at Georgia actually was 98 when Tennessee won the national championship with T. Martin. And so but it's funny how little Georgia and Tennessee have actually played, because like before the SEC expanded, it was not an every year thing. So it's interesting.
I know. I'm glad it is, because I think hopefully with Tennessee's truly back, then it could be an actual good rivalry to go back and forth.
Right. Right.
We gotta start winning some games against you at some point, but
we're cool how it is. We're fine. No, just kidding.
You're like, no, it's fine. Don't. We're not going to change anything. But I think Tennessee's in a good spot. I think we've got some. It was a bummer losing to South Carolina. What?
Yeah, that was crazy.
What was that? It's a complete meltdown. I mean, I think Tennessee would have been in the playoffs for sure if they hadn't lost to South Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think that's a very strong possibility.
Yeah, for sure. But I tell you what, Stetson Bennett, wow, that kid's good, man. Everybody gives him a hard time. We love giving him a hard time because he's like 40 years old, but he's good. He's good.
He is. Well, hey, he's like the same age as Hendon Hooker. They're like a few months apart.
It's
so like
true,
we both had like the aging, the AARP quarterbacks. So
The AARP quarterback.
That's right. That's right. They're already drawing Social Security, but they still can throw football though.
Yeah.
Hendon is old. He took advantage of that 6 years or however long he's been in school. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're both 6-year guys. They're both like older than Lamar Jackson. Or I know Stetson's older than Lamar Jackson. They're definitely older than Brock Purdy.
Yeah, everybody's older than Brock Purdy.
I actually saw you had a nice you threw a Stetson Bennett joke into your NFC Championship fan video. I did see that.
I think I've used maybe even one or two Stetson Bennett jokes in there just about him being so old. Yeah, which is funny because he's not that old, but
yeah.
When you're comparing him to like quarterbacks in the NFL playing for like a conference championship, it seems like, man, when I was in college, I was an immature kid. I can imagine being 23, 24 and doing what those guys are doing. So
yeah, seriously.
Stetson's awesome, man. He's good. Is he good? I'm curious what you guys think. Is he going to be an NFL quarterback?
I think so. I think he's going to get a chance. Well, I think that, Or were you going to the news over the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh man,
he definitely hurt his draft stock over the weekend.
He's definitely going to raise a lot more questions about things that have nothing to do with football.
Yeah. So that aside, so before that, like last week, we were all excited because you had Mel Kiper Jr. was all like third round pick. It was what he was predicting last week, which is such a far, like the journey of him, which we don't have to relive that again. But like it is so crazy to walk on wearing number 22 that no one's ever heard of until the Rose Bowl practices to like even talk of third round pick is crazy. Even going back to 2020 when like he lost his job and everything, like it's nuts, absolutely nuts. So I think he'll get a shot. And then from there, like that's all you need in the NFL, right?
You just need a shot. That's it. Hopefully I'm not dealing with Johnny Manziel 2.0 here.
I know.
Trust me, that's in the back of. It's in the. if everyone's being honest, we're probably all thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Look, if I every time that I got caught publicly intoxicated, I mean, I wouldn't have a career anymore either. So, but I just don't get caught. So.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, and I don't know, like not to add rumors here, but it sounds like he was lost and was like knocking on doors trying to find people or something. So I think that's in general that's what I've heard.
Again, it reminds me of my college experience. So I'm right there with him. No big deal. I think he's just fine. Send him to the draft. I'd draft him, give him a shot. He's a winner, man. Stetson Bennett's a winner.
Yeah.
Knows how to win.
I agree. And that, I don't know. I mean, I will say there are worse quarterbacks in the NFL holding a clipboard right now than Stetson Bennett. I think you can do worse.
It's absolutely true.
That's a true statement.
Yeah,
that's true.
So with the Tennessee Georgia week, I'm trying to remember if I had seen your stuff before then, because I know I saw that one, and I may have seen the Auburn one, but I definitely saw the Georgia Tennessee week because that one got really big, at least from my perspective. Like I can't remember whether I saw that on Instagram or TikTok or probably both or whatever. But I don't know. So did that one like escalate as much as I'm thinking in my mind, like from your perspective?
It did. Yeah. Trillions of views. Trillions, in fact. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, it did do really well. And that was the first video I did that was like fan versus fan, right? Where I had like a guy from one team and a guy from another team doing the whole smack talk thing back and forth, right? That was the first one I did in that style, I think. And I think people liked that and they, related to that and just loved the kind of the jokes back and forth, just, the talking smack. But that one did really well. And, timing is everything, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was Tennessee, Georgia week. It was the week of the game and people were talking about it. So it was trending and all that kind of stuff. And College Game Day picked that one up and shared it on their channels. And that was cool to see. And, that's really what started the whole fan versus fan, smack talking thing, which now I'm deep into at this point.
Right.
But that was a good one. And the ending was so good. It was so good because the Georgia guy was like, volunteer. What's a volunteer, anyways? And he's like, I'll tell you what it is. No, he says it was a vol. What's a vol?
Yeah.
And he goes, it's a volunteer. We volunteer, to kick your ass. And then and then we lost. But but it would have been great if we'd won. It was a perfect setup. I mean,
right.
So I don't know if I can say on your podcast. I'm sorry if I can't.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry, Carter.
Yeah, we say sorry, Carter. So John's son, Carter, listens, and so whenever we cuss, we say sorry, Carter. We just apologize to
I'm sorry, Carter. It's only because I'm acting in a skit. I don't talk like that normal.
Love it. So I'm glad. I swore I thought I had seen that come from Game Day, and then I was trying to find that earlier this morning, and I don't know, my searching wasn't getting it to come back up. But so that's what I thought. So so that probably is where I discovered that. And I'll say too, like the thing that I noticed from that one too is actually, I will say, like the Georgia t-shirt you were wearing is like, I have that shirt and like I love that shirt. That's one of my favorite shirts. So one of my questions was like, where do you get like all the outfits from, and like are these all your things and all that kind of stuff? So I was curious about that.
Do you and Coach 30 like swap wardrobes? Like what's
But I am broke now because of all these freaking shirts I've got to wear for every week is a different, different game. So yeah, I do a lot of Amazon shopping. There's a local store here that sells a lot of like team gear at the mall. So I go there sometimes if I need something fast. Like, oh crap, I forgot to order my, shirt for this game. I gotta run down there and see if they've got it. But I've got, a 2-tiered clothes rack full of these things. And so, yeah, a lot of it's online shopping. I've been fortunate. I've partnered with a company called Outsider on some videos. And so they've sent me some stuff to wear. And I'm fortunate I've got some different companies reaching out to me. They're like, hey, can I send you some free shirts to wear in your videos? And I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And
I was about to say, you should just like solicit fans. Like, hey, if you want me to wear your shirt, send it in.
It sounds like an NIL deal. You're getting an NIL deal for.
I need a good NIL deal. I think we should do like an auction, man. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Who's going to pay me the most money to wear your shirt in my video? So, yeah, if you guys have Georgia gear, send it my way. I'll wear it.
We'll send you a My God a Podcast shirt.
Yes.
Here we go.
I'll wear that one because I don't, you know what? I got a lot of teams here and I don't mind wearing, like I put on the TCU sweatshirt. Sure. It's great. Even the Georgia one, I was like, okay, let's wear it. But then when I slip on the Alabama shirt, man, I'm just like throw up in my mouth a little bit. It's rough. It's rough.
You have to take a shower. You have to take a shower afterwards.
Yeah. Shower afterwards. The Ohio State one and the Michigan one too. I wear those and I just feel dirty afterwards.
Have to go to confession.
That's right. Fathers, forgive me. I have sinned badly. But
that's awesome.
Well, I can see your setup in the background here. And so one of the ththings I was curious about, I think I know the answer. I mean, is this all like a one-man show? Like, are you doing all this just you?
Yeah, for now it is. Okay. I'm going to be on the lookout here pretty soon for some editors that can help me edit. I'm kind of a control freak with it too. So I'm like, can anybody edit as good as I can edit and put it together? Yes, of course. There's people out there. So at some point, anybody's listening, you want to apply to edit some of my videos, I'll accept it. But I do it all myself, man. I got a nice little kind of home studio here, and I've got a green screen. I painted a wall green, and my lights set up and the whole deal. I shoot it all right here. It's a lot of fun. And then I of course I act in it, I write it, I edit it, do the whole deal. So one man band.
Yeah, so my note I had written down was that I was going to be impressed if you said yes, you did do it all by yourself. So that blows me away that you do it all by yourself. That's pretty cool.
Be impressed, Jim. Be very impressed. Yes,
I am. You succeeded there.
Sophisticated operation.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not too. I've got a beer fridge, to my right. I got plenty of distractions here, but it's a good place to hang out, like a kind of man cave / studio. / escape, from my family, whatever I can need to do.
So we usually we don't have any right now. We usually have bourbon with us. Are you a bourbon guy?
I like bourbon.
We have to ask this question. Okay. Okay. That's I was a beer only guy when we started this podcast, and John has gotten me into bourbon, and now I'm like a hardcore bourbon guy. So
Yeah,
just curious.
What was it 11:30 a.m. We're recording this? I mean, let's just go for it.
It's 5:00 somewhere.
That's right.
Just go all in.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it all the way.
So one thing I wanted to check on, one thing that I came across that I thought was pretty cool. So you looks like Bush's Beans reached out to you and sent you to the SEC championship game. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, what a great opportunity, man. It was cool. They reached out and said, hey, we want to do a value exchange type deal. We're gonna, we want to send you to the SEC championship, put you up in a hotel, give you all this, all the perks, all the fun stuff, and get the VIP passes and the food and go to the game, and had great seats, man. It was great. It was an awesome weekend. And I was really fortunate to them to be able to do that. That was really cool. SEC Nation was there, got to kind of check in on those guys, and it was cool. It was cool. It was I tell you what, the Georgia fan base vastly outnumbered the LSU fan base, obviously at that game. I don't know if you guys were there or not, but it was wild. LSU fans, they were a lot less, but they were really loud, man. I'll tell you what, I give them credit. They were so loud. I mean, it sounded like there was a lot more of them there, but they were just like in one corner, I feel like. And then Georgia fans were all over the place. Man, it was a really cool game to be at. I mean, Georgia dominated it, obviously, but a lot of fun. Thankful to Bush's Beans. Yeah, looking forward to more opportunities like that. Hopefully, I'm ready to hold a cardboard sign up that says "We'll work for tickets." We'll work for game tickets, and yeah.
And I saw you, a famous alumnus, or I'm not sure if he's an alumnus, but definitely a Georgia guy and Georgia fan, Kevin from The Office, Brian Baumgartner. Looks like you got to hook up with him. Yeah, man. He's he works with Bush's Beans on some things, and so yeah, I got to hang out with him a little bit. Funny guy, great guy. They had a Bush's Beans chili cook-off.
Was it chili related?
It was, yes. And it was good. It was him versus another guy, a fan, and they battled out, and Brian won. Kevin from The Office, he won the chili cook-off, and I had some. It was great. It was great.
Oh, that's cool. I had no idea. That's really awesome.
Yeah. So that was a good time hanging out with those folks. Looking forward to next season when Tennessee's in the SEC championship and Georgia's at home. So that'll be fun.
Slow down, Josh.
Slow down. All right. Settle down, buddy.
So is this like a partnership with Bush's, or like they just randomly reached out to you, or?
Yeah, they reached out to me and a couple other creators. And it's the first time I've worked with them. But I heard from them again for another opportunity. It didn't work out with timing and whatnot, but I think I'll probably work with them again. I hope. I like their brand. As they keep growing, it's I'm a little more selective as to what brands I want to work with. Because I've gotten offers from some people, and I'm like, I don't really want to work with you. You guys are weird. So, but Bush's, I love me some Bush's Beans, man.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll work with them. I'm waiting on a call from a great bourbon company.
I was about to say the bourbon's got to hit you up.
Yes,
you have to start doing some bourbon videos. Like you could do like bourbon guy versus beer guy.
That's a great idea. Dang, John, good job. All right, that's the next video. It's going to be bourbon versus beer. I'm going to be sloshed by the time that video is over.
Right. Yeah. Or then do you have anything nice in the back? You could be, do you have anything in the back, guy?
That's good. Yeah, there's always that guy. Yeah, I could be that guy showing up to the bar. Yeah. That's great.
Did just want to take a quick moment to remind everyone that season 3 of My Gotta Podcast is presented by Oxia Time. So Oxia Time is a custom watch company, and you've got to go check out their 2022 Georgia National Champion collection. There are 3 watches available at oxiatime.com. They're all officially licensed by the University of Georgia, as well as the College Football Playoff. And exclusively, the Blackout watch is being sold at collegefootballplayoff.com. They've got a link to that from oxiatime.com as well, so be sure to go check that out. That's at AXIATIME.com.
What got you into what was the catalyst? It was like, you know what, wife, dear, I'm gonna start making sports videos every week. What was that conversation like?
Man, She was like, okay, that's great. I'm going to go to work at a real job while you can just play all day at home making your little videos. Yeah, it's been interesting. My wife is a nurse at the VA, and so she has a real job that's respectable. I make dumb videos for a living. So, like I said, I think it's all about, is there a future in this, right? If there's a future in it, I think she's up for it. And so, being somebody that came from, I have a background in production. So, and I've been acting some on the side. So it's sort of a natural progression to say, okay, for me, if one of my goals is to be an actor, to be standing at the Academy Awards or whatever one day, to be, cast in, Top Gun 7, or, whatever, then, I live in East Tennessee. I'm not, I don't live in Hollywood. I don't live in New York. So my path is going to be different. So how can I get there? Well, I think it's so fortunate that we live in a time when we can make videos from anywhere. You can be an entertainer from anywhere in the country. You can even make movies from anywhere in the country, really. You don't have to live in those hot spots anymore. So this is a great venue, a great path for me to take to kind of get there. So, okay, I get to exercise my acting and my writing. I get to do all these things and develop an audience in the process, and hopefully get the attention of some people that are making movies and say, hey, this guy's, somewhat funny. Let's give him a shot at being in a movie. So that's sort of the sideways path, that I'm taking. And I think, my wife bought into that because I, explained it really well, and I gave her some wine, and she drank that down, and so she's like, yeah, that's great. So it's been cool. It's been cool to see it develop. And I'm in a place now where I'm able to monetize and make some money doing it, and with content partnerships, brand partnerships, things like that, and hopefully that will just continue to grow. But yeah, my kids are less excited about it. You
Wow.
think they would think my dad's got all these followers on Instagram, like he's so cool. No, they're like I have daughters, I have 8th grader and a 6th grader and a 1st grader. And my older ones, especially the 8th grader, she's always like, oh, Dad, all the boys in my class watch your videos. It's so embarrassing. Sorry, honey.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Not on we can relate to that, but not on the same scale. We don't have, quite the eyeballs, but yeah, I've got a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, and it's the same way, like complete eye roll if anything ever gets mentioned.
When we go to the Georgia tailgates with some of the folks that we've met through Twitter and through the podcast, and we bring our kids, they're like, oh, your dad's famous, or whatever. Like they always just roll their eyes. It's like, no.
No, our dads are lame.
You should see him at home. He's the furthest thing from cool or famous. It's already bad enough that people, like, when they find out, like I'll be in Johnson City, Tennessee, where I live. And I'll be out somewhere, and someone will say, hey, you're Josh Mancuso, you're the guy that does the videos. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you live here? I'm like, yeah. What's wrong with living here? Like, I guess they think I live in some magical land somewhere, where Instagram land, where they make all the videos. I'm like, yeah, I just live here in East Tennessee. I'm just a regular guy that doesn't know what he's doing most of the time. And my kids are like, yeah, that's who he is. Like, that's the guy you're talking about, that you love watching his videos. So, but you kind of enjoy embarrassing your kids a little bit, right? Sort of like,
yeah, absolutely, gratification
there. So I just rub it in, man. Like,
yeah. That's awesome. So do you have, like, are people, like, you walk around town or whatever, are you known as like the video guy, or like, what are you getting recognized when you go out of town, that kind of thing? Like, that's
a good question. And it's really funny because where I live, it's almost like, it's a Bible verse that a prophet is not welcome in his own hometown, right? It's like, it's like, I've been on so many podcasts and news stations, and like, I was on ESPN, an interview I did but all of our local media, they don't cover me or know what I'm doing. It's like, we don't care. It's just the Josh guy that has lived here for, the past 25 years. So, not much love from them. as far as that goes. But when I go places like when I went to the SEC championship game, I got stopped a lot with people that had recognized me, and that kind of surprised me, honestly. I didn't think people would recognize me, but I got that was kind of cool. And it's cool for it to be like non-Tennessee fans, because Tennessee fans tend to recognize me, but outside of Tennessee, it was cool to have a lot of Georgia fans that stopped me and they're like, "Oh, I love your video," so yeah, that's been kind of surreal. Again, my kids are like, eye roll, ridiculous. They want a picture with you. Why do they want a picture with you? Yeah. Just so funny.
They'll appreciate it one day.
Yes, one day.
That's awesome.
When you were at the SEC championship game, did you witness any Georgia fans barking? Because I know that's been a recurring joke that you had.
Yes, a little bit. But I noticed they did a lot of barking in the stadium. Yes. After it was like the kickoff, right? Mm-hmm. Ball kicks off and it's like all the barking started, and I was like, oh, we're doing that already. Okay, all right, I'll bark, sure.
Yes,
a little bit of barking. Yes.
Okay. But no like barking at people outside of the stadium, because that does happen sometimes. Not as much, but
in your face, it is a real thing. At little children.
Yeah, bad barking at little kids taking their candy. I didn't see any of that really.
Okay, no. That's good. No. I think you had a good day. I
had a good day, yeah. But I've seen it on YouTube, right? So I've seen it on TikTok, so I know it's out there sometimes at least.
Yeah. I do think it's funny, like, because when people like complain, and I think it's basically like one of the lines you used in the video. I think that it was like, you bark at people, and it's like, yeah, and it's like, that's always my response whenever I hear it from someone. It's like, well, you guys bark. It's like, well, yeah, like that's our thing.
We're the dogs, man. I mean, that's what we do.
Oh man.
I mean, what do you do? I have Tennessee volunteers. What do you guys do? Just raise your hand, like, yeah, I volunteer to do it. Yeah, we don't have that kind of cool stuff. We have Rocky Top, right? I mean, we just sing Rocky Top over and over until people just get tired of it. Yeah.
That was in your video. We're just singing over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Like, okay.
That is true. That is true. Oh, and man, that's one of the things that I like remember from like my days of college. It's just that song.
That's 1,000%.
Wore us out.
I'm glad we're in your head.
Yeah,
that's good.
Well, and like when you're there too, like, because that place is loud. I mean, it's huge. It's huge, and then it's like steep. I feel like it like keeps the sound in like crazy, because we've got the open-ended on the one side, so the sound kind of escapes Sanford a little bit. Neyland, none of that sound's getting out, and it is loud. So
that's true. It is steep. Those upper decks are a little steep. I don't like going to the upper deck because I'm like, whoa, I feel like I'm climbing a mountain here.
Yeah,
it's a bowl for sure. Yeah, I've not been to Sanford Stadium, but I like to go.
So we got to fix that.
I'll be expecting some tickets in the mail after this podcast episode to next year's. Of course, they play Tennessee in Knoxville next year.
I was about to say, had we done this in season, we would have invited you to come out, because we were both there.
Hey, yeah, that was a good one. Game day was there. We could have set that up. Hey, you could have been like on game day stuff. We have no pull there. I'm just saying.
Like, you could have been on game day, not because of us. We wouldn't. We can't do just because you're on game day, but you could have been there. Does Georgia play South Carolina at home? Do you know?
Yes.
I would love to see Georgia beat the snot out of South Carolina. So you guys can invite me to that game. I'll come somewhere Georgia red.
Nice. Hey, we know you've got the clothes. We've seen the videos.
Right.
You got the apparel.
I'm ready to go.
Now, don't bring the whole rack and like switch to South Carolina while you're there. We got to leave the South Carolina.
No, I have standards. I have standards, Jim. That's not going to happen. I'll leave, but I will bark at people. I'll bark at people. I'll be the craziest barker you've ever seen. Yeah.
I love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, man. I'll say again, like we've definitely enjoyed. It was funny. So John and I both kind of like individually came across your work this year, and then we didn't talk about it much, right? Or I don't know that we talked about it until TCU. And same kind of thing. I know my sister had found your work, and she was like, I remember specifically because I went to the national championship game with my sister, and she the day we were leaving maybe was the day your Horned Frog fan with Georgia came out, and she sent it to me. She's like, oh my God, Josh, it's a new video. You got to check this out. Which on that kind of where I was going with that was I feel like it's probably one thing for you. Obviously, for a Tennessee video, like you said, like the history. Georgia maybe is a little bit easier, but like TCU, I mean, did you have to like go? Like, I actually learned things about like the horn frog and stuff from that video. All right, you had a couple because I think you did TCU the mascot, right?
I did,
And then you
yeah,
did the
yeah.
fan. Okay, like the like the horn frog shooting blood from its eyes or whatever. I got that from you actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. Look at this. I mean, my videos are comical and educational. I'm here to educate America.
It's a PBS. It's a PBS special.
It really is. It is. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. So I do a little bit of digging to make sure that just to make sure I don't say anything stupid, like just to make sure that I at least have some general understanding. But like part of the gag is that the average person doesn't know about the history of the mascots and what they are. So I kind of want to keep it at that kind of like surface level because that's how it's funny, right? So like I did the Utah mascot. They're the Utes.
Yeah.
Well, the Utes is actually a Native American tribe out there, and that's how they got their name and stuff. But nobody knows that, right? So I played it as if I was somebody who didn't know that, and I said, let's just go with the Utes because we're so lazy. We can't even finish the sentence Utah. We're just going to go with the Ute. Right. And so I got a little bit of backlash on that one because like, well, if you did your research, you would know that blah, blah. And I'm like, I know the story. That's not the point of the video. Like the point of the video is for it to be wrong,
Right.
That's why it's funny. If I just told the story of the actual mascot, that's a true history lesson. So,
Nice.
I kind of try to balance them both out, basically getting a little bit of history so that at least I know what I'm talking about, but also bringing in the comedy, like with the Tennessee Volunteers. Yeah, we're named Volunteers because of the soldiers that went to Texas to fight. It's a great story. But I mean, if you don't know, most people are like, why are you the Volunteers? That's so stupid. So we're gonna play off of that, not off the real story. So that's kind of been how I've tried to balance that out. But it's so funny that people in my comments, most 95% of the people that think it's hysterical, but there's always that 5% that are like, why don't you do your research next time, buddy? Before you're talking about our mascot. And I'm like, okay.
That's gotta be one of the least fun things about being in the public spotlight. I would imagine is having to read that small percentage of things. Do you read everything? Like, or do you have?
I don't read every comment. No, I try to get in there just because I appreciate people commenting because that one, when people say nice things or they say they love the video like that, I appreciate that. I want to acknowledge that, but also it's also good. People commenting is good for the algorithm and stuff, right? That's a good thing for coming up on people's pages. So I'm sure I've missed a lot of comments, but I try to get in there and get as many as I can. It just, I'm on every platform, right? So I can't look at I miss
time consuming.
Yeah, I miss a lot of Facebook comments. I miss a lot of TikTok comments. I try to get in there with most of the Instagram comments because that's kind of my main space. But yeah, most people have been really accepting and really encouraging, man. It's great to honestly wake up in the morning. I got comments. I got people messaging me being like, I've had a really tough month and watching your videos has made me laugh and helped me keep going. I'm like,
yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
Like I thought I was just, a goofy comedian, which is accurate, but it is really nice to get those kinds of comments. It gives me, a little more purpose behind my videos. Like, hey, like I have, reason for this. I don't want to get all like, spiritual, but I definitely, it's cool when you find out, like, I think I was meant to do this. Like, I think I'm meant to make people laugh. Like that's my purpose on the earth. And, it's cool to know that I can, I could literally do this and A, make somewhat of a living and B, impact people. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
I would agree. You're perfectly suited for this. Like,
for sure.
Your delivery, your creativity, your ideas, like, you're saving lives, obviously, but like you've got jokers like us that just makes the season that much better. So now we have something else to look forward to. Cause like I said, like you blew up this year for me. Cause I saw your videos earlier this year. Like Jim mentioned, like we hadn't really talked about it, but like it came front and center for us in the CFP. But like another guy that we talked about this year that I feel like also kind of blew up was the Coach 30 videos as well. Like it's just little things that the online community, the giga economy or whatever, like has enabled folks like you to enhance experiences. They're outside of the typical broadcast world, which
Yeah.
I appreciate.
You're absolutely right. And that's a great thing because, in movie making, the studios control everything, right? And so they control who sees what. And you can even say that we could get into big tech and all that kind of stuff, right? And what's going on there and who sees what. But really, the great thing about the internet community and about the social media community and being a creator in that space is that you're able to let the fans determine, viewers determine, who makes it. So you see videos rising to the top because people like them. Now, the platforms reward you. It's like, okay, more people are watching. Okay, we're going to bump you up. More people are spending time on our platform watching your videos. We're going to bump you up. And so, there's tech involved, but it's also, it's what a great space to be in where it is truly fan run to an extent. I mean, it is viewer run. And that's why I'm always thanking people. I'm like, thank you for watching, because if you weren't watching, I mean, I wouldn't be getting anywhere. I could be as funny as funniest person on the earth, but if it doesn't get out there to anybody, it doesn't really matter. So it's cool to see that, like you said, the community happening. And I think that's what's great about sports too, is like it's a real great niche of people who are passionate about sports. They love sports, and injecting some comedy in there just makes it, a little more bearable if you're having a tough season, but also just an added piece to the whole sports experience, because it's more than just watching a game. You have guys like you all doing podcasts, and people love listening to you because you're doing what everybody loves to do, which is talk about sports.
Right.
It's like, that's perfect. Like, I talk about sports all the time, and you guys do too. So put a microphone in front of you and then other people can listen to you talk about sports or talk with you. And it is so fun. It is really fun. And I'm so glad that I've landed in this sports niche, because it was sort of by accident a little bit. I had done even some like political type stuff, and I've kind of veered away from that just because of how polarizing it is. And that's kind of what led me to focus really on sports. And that's been my savior. I mean, sports has been what's got me to where I'm at. So it's a great opportunity to be doing what we do and what you guys do.
Yeah, I think you're right too. Like, one thing that resonated for me is you're talking about, like, it's like for us, like we are, as Georgia fans, are experiencing something, at least for John and I, for like our age, that we've never experienced before, right? And so your videos, things that are coming up with the Coach 30 are all very like they're happy, and they're like, a part of it's like adding on to the great season already. But even like, like you said, like maybe it's bringing you up when you're down, like, because I always say, like, you can't laugh at yourself, like who can you laugh at, kind of deal. And so like, and like before Georgia went on this run, there were things out there that I still thought were funny, like and I don't know, like that kind of makes you like, well, they are right. I can always appreciate and laugh at that kind of stuff too. So
that's right. The best comedy is when it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So are there any, who are some of your inspiration? Like, do you have any inspiration for your comedy, or like, or favorite comedians that you personally enjoy?
I do have favorite comedians that I personally enjoy, that probably don't influence me too much because I'm not as good as them. But like, as far as like stand-up comedians, I really like Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, he's good.
So good. He's another guy that I feel like they blew up out of nowhere this year too. For me personally.
I
think
in
a lot
Atlanta.
of people discovered him this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. This is my, like, I saw him before, that kind of thing, because I saw him. He did like a tour with Vince Vaughn years ago. It was called the Wild West Comedy Tour, and it was Vince Vaughn and Ralphie, Peter Billingsley. Well, they're like best friends in real life, by the way. And so they kind of like produced the show, and he was part of that. So I saw him at the Fox Theater like years ago. It was when I still lived in Georgia, so it was before 2010. It was a long time.
Oh wow!
Oh man, what a great venue too, the Fox Theater, man. I've been there just one time, and it was or twice. It was epic both times. He's so funny, man. I love Sebastian Maniscalco, and also like Jim Gaffigan.
He's good. Gaffigan.
So in terms of just watching comedy, like those are two of my favorite guys. And then on the actor side, like I really like, I like Jim Carrey, and I like Will Ferrell. So I definitely love the Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly vibe, like the Will Ferrell movies, the Talladega Nights, and the Blades of Glory, and like all like his type of comedy. Will Ferrell, yeah. So I don't know if their stuff seeps into my stuff or not. I feel like in my brain it does, but I think hopefully it just probably translates as me just being myself. But I definitely pull a lot from those guys. Steve Carell, I'm a big fan of The Office.
Yeah.
I've got some hopefully some projects in the future that I'd like to do some things that are similar in that kind of mockumentary style, Steve Carell type stuff. Yeah, so
cool.
I could see it.
Love it. Yes,
I could see it.
Basically, what you just said is I'm good at being awkward. That's what you said. Josh is good at being awkward, so he'll be great in that part.
Have you ever done stand up? Have you ever dabbled in that?
I have locally here in Tennessee done a handful of stand up sets. Yeah, that's it. I haven't done much theater. So most of the entertainment I do is recorded, so I have the opportunity to mess up and then redo it, and I'm so used to that. Because a lot of people, they're trained in theater and then they move to film or video. But for me, not really. I've always been trained in film, and all the acting, coaching and classes I've done have all been for film, for video. So live stuff is a little more challenging for me. I can do it and I love it. I just have to prepare a little bit more, but I do enjoy. And I think in 2023, I'm going to be doing more of that, because I think it's just kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm doing. So I'm going to probably branch out and do a little bit more of that. Yeah.
You going to take it on tour?
Yeah.
I would, that'd be fun. That would be fun. I've gotten booked. I got booked to be a speaker at a conference later this year, which is great. It's kind of a mixture of comedy, also some motivational stuff, but it's all supposed to be funny, So things like that, I think I can do, and I have experience doing public speaking, so I think that's a great spot for me. But I'd love to put together a stand up set, and just kind of tour and do just that set every night, at a different location. I think that would be so much fun. So, or at the very least, go hit up, a few places here and there. College towns maybe where they might know who I am, so somebody will show up actually to watch.
Yeah, you can do like a SEC roadshow.
SEC roadshow, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, you guys are figuring all kinds of stuff for me. Do you want to manage my career? That'd be great if you guys could just start managing all my stuff.
We've got the ideas. Yeah, I mean, I guess anything else, because if there's anything else, because I was going to ask like what's next for Josh Mancuso, although I feel like you've given us a bunch of things. Is there anything else lined up, or just kind of where you see this going?
Well, really, I'm definitely in a situation where I'm like, all right, head down, staying focused, cranking out content. That is number one right now. I think I'm focused on building an audience and focused on just delivering funny stuff to people. And then continuing to just build relationships with other comedians, other brands out there, other people out there who reach out to me, or I reach out to them, and just see what we can do. That's number one. And then number two is I do have a production studio behind me that I founded, and I've got some little bit of investment there and just a little bit of momentum there. I think. I was in a movie in November. We shot it in November. I was in that movie. It was a drama, actually. So I was out of my comedic shoes and into a dramatic role, which is fun to do because I do so much comedy. It's nice to get serious every now and then. Not for too long, but just, for a minute or two. And then I'm back. So I think I've got another short comedy I'm going to be starring in. Actually, no, it's also a drama. Okay, so another drama later this year.
Are you going to make a feature film of the Mallmark Christmas?
The Mallmark Christmas. That's right. You watched that one. That's good. That's not our best work there, John. Thanks for bringing that one up.
I just love the name.
Yeah, the Mallmark. Yeah, we threw that together with some people here locally just for fun a couple years ago, and that was good. But yeah, we got some more productions coming later this year. I think be on the lookout for that. And
what was the movie in November?
It was called It's All Right Now, and it's All Right Now. It takes place in the 1970s. So it's a period piece. It's a pretty low budget film, but really well done. And it was great playing the role. I had like chop. What do you call those?
The mutton
pork chops, sideburns. Yeah, all the way down. And Then I had like a handlebar mustache, very 1970s kind of in the South. little bit of a deadbeat dad feel to my character. It was a lot of fun to explore. I had to smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke, but I sucked down like 10 cigarettes over the weekend. I was like, wow. Yeah. It was.
You went method.
I'm totally method. All. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I smoked a carton before I even got on set. Yeah, just to get in the. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't.
Daniel Day-Lewis over here.
He called me Daniel Day.
Well, hey, you said Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey does method stuff there.
That's right. He's pretty method too. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty. It's probably going to be out in this summer, I would think, this year released. So we'll see where it ends up. Could be on a streaming service or who knows where. So that would be cool.
We'll be on the lookout.
Been lookout. But other than that, man, day in, day out, just cranking out the comedies. I think I definitely saw a drop off when college football season ended. I saw a drop off in engagement just because I had a lot of fans in college football. But I'm picking up with college basketball here. Going to be doing some of that, and I've been doing some NFL stuff too. But that'll be over soon. So yeah, just kind of adapting to what's going on in season, and just keep making people laugh, man.
Are you going to get into baseball as well?
I might. They have a thing called the MLB creator class that someone told me about, and I looked into it, and you have to apply for it. So if I get my ducks in a row and get in gear, I may try to apply for it, and they send you to a lot of different games and experiences, and you make videos. And so I'm like, that'd be great. I think they pick a lot of people that do different kinds of things, like experiential type videos, things like that. But I didn't see a whole lot of like comedy, and I feel like I can maybe add that to them. That would be a lot of fun to be able to do that. I don't watch a lot of baseball, so I'd have to do some probably legit research to figure out what I'm talking about.
Right.
You're technically in Braves country, I guess I would say, right?
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, we're like 5 hours from Atlanta, but like that's our team, the Braves, because this is by default. I don't even have a favorite team. I'm originally from Southern California. I'm from LA, so I've got. I'm an Angels fan. Like all my family are Angels fans out there.
Okay.
So I like Dodgers and Angels. I kind of rep them a little bit, but I don't know enough about baseball anymore to, when I think baseball, I think like Ken Griffey Jr. and Tony Gwynn.
I was just about to say, as an Angels fan, have you seen the Facing Ryan? I think it's what's called.
I have not, Ryan? But I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I did. Yeah. We watched it this past weekend. It's fantastic. My son is like super into baseball cards, and I have some Nolan Ryan cards from when he was on the Angels. And, so anyway, you mentioned that. I was like, oh,
yeah,
you're kind of in the same era.
Well, I love that. That's where you went. My mind went to like Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfield. Yeah.
That was a great movie. I remember seeing that one. I loved the Angels in the Outfield. All those, baseball movies when we were kids, like, The Sandlot.
Oh yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
The great movies from back then. Yeah.
That's probably, that could be a niche for you for folks at our age levels, talking about names of movies back in and plots for movies from back in the day. They're just so ridiculous.
That's right. That's Angels in the Outfield, and Rookie of the Year, a kid that can throw really hard, goes to the majors. Yeah.
And somehow, like half of them have James Earl Jones. Also, I don't know how that happened, but he's in like all of them.
I always thought A Kid in King Arthur's Court was like another one. It was like
same guy. That was a Rookie of the Year, right? Rookie of the Year goes to the past.
Oh yeah, that's right. Same guy, man.
Exactly.
The Sandlot can't be made. My kids, I got 3 girls, and they love watching The Sandlot. They're into The Sandlot and The Karate Kid. I'm like, yes,
it's amazing.
Let's go. It's my era.
The kid, and they're into like the Star Wars stuff, like the Mandalorian and all that.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, where can everyone go find you? I believe you're either Josh Mancuso, or the Josh Mancuso everywhere. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. Yes. Mostly just my name, Josh Mancuso, but there's a couple places. I think TikTok, it's the Josh Mancuso, because some knucklehead already took my name there. Right. So I had to add the "the" to it. Yeah, that's the best place, is just on social media. Just my name right there. You'll find me. YouTube as well. All those places. My production company, Switchman Studios, is switchmanstudios.com. You can go check out some of the projects we're trying to get made. yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on the show, and appreciate all the listeners you guys have out there in dog country. Congrats on another championship. We're gonna have to put a stop to that here at some point. You can't win forever, right?
It does have to stop at some point.
Yes, maybe you can. Anyways, yeah, I enjoyed your podcast. I appreciate you guys. Keep crushing it, and thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's been a blast. Appreciate you agreeing to come on. This has been a blast.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. JP, you got any closing thoughts for us? Sometimes John comes up with like meaning of life type questions, right?
Like some really deep thoughts to end the podcast.
Well, I actually was thinking like we normally ask our guests who are typically our Georgia fans and Georgia alumni. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned that you were from California and you're a Tennessee fan. Like, what is your Tennessee fan like journey? Like, how did you end up pulling for Tennessee? Is it just because you lived there, or what's the?
You're like, who are you? You get to California to Tennessee? What is that? A lot of people are moving from California to Tennessee now, or from California to anywhere.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So I lived in California just till I was 4 years old, and then I moved to Tennessee. So, I mean, my roots go to California. All my dad's family all lives out there, and we go visit. Love to visit. But I grew up in Tennessee, and my mom's family's from Tennessee. They're big Tennessee fans. My uncle went to UT, my mom went to UT. Mm-hmm. So there's connections there that way, and just kind of grew up, watching old VHS tapes of of recorded Tennessee games, Tennessee in the 1986 Sugar Bowl against Miami, like putting that when I was in there when I was like 8 years old and watching it in the VCR and just like loving, watching, Jeff Powell come around the side and run down the sideline and beat Miami, like just some cool things like that got me interested in Tennessee sports. And as a kid, of course, sports was the only thing that mattered in life. Baseball, and eventually I played football in high school, but being in Northeast Tennessee, and then having some family connections to UT, it just was a natural fit. And again, we don't have a pro team nearby. We didn't get the Titans until the late 90s or whenever that was, and that's in Nashville. That's like 4.5 hours from me. So Tennessee they're the team. They're the team of the state of Tennessee. So you just jump in, and become passionate, start rooting for them, and then start, basing all of your life's happiness on their success. And then you go up and down, and one day you wish you weren't living, and the next day you're excited because they're winning. So they take us on a big emotional roller coaster. But yeah, it's been great being a Tennessee fan. I will just mention here at the end, just that Tennessee basketball, football, and baseball all ranked in the top 10 nationally. So Tennessee sports are on the up and up for sure. Basketball team, you heard it here. We're going to the Final Four this year. It's going to happen. I'm calling it. And going back to the World Series this year too in baseball. So there you go. Vols.
Nice.
Push. There you go. Yeah. All very realistic predictions.
Grab your hunting gear and your moonshine.
That's right. Let's go. Get your coonskin cap. We're going places. All your Georgia fans are like, why did you have this guy on your podcast? He's a Tennessee fan. Like, what is he doing? Go Dogs. Go Dogs, baby.
Hey, there you go. That's how we end it. Wasn't sure we'd be able to get one of those out of you, but we appreciate that.
I'll bark. I can bark at the end too.
Love it.
Appreciate you coming on, man. This has been fun. We'll have to get a DM going, and we'll shoot you all of our ideas.
Yes. Oh, please do, because I will use them. I'll tag you guys and be like, if you like this joke, or if you don't like this joke, talk to Jim and John, because they're the ones that came up with it.
These guys. Yeah, we'll have to sync back up in the fall. This has been a blast.
Oh, totally.
Especially for the South Carolina game.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm all about watching the Gamecocks go down in flames. So I'll be there.
Same.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Josh. It's been a blast.
See you guys.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.